Ben Davis, who we don't meet until yeah, he's a good character. We don't meet until the last season 3. Wait, who started last time? I started. Okay, you go.
Yeah, so I get Ben. Okay, so this one's difficult from the perspective that he clearly has a mental illness, and by the end we realize it's bipolar, right? But if you kind of just take that as a separate thing for a minute,
we just think like this. We're just like,
yeah, we have to temper that a little bit. But he definitely exhibits. Again, by eliminate, I don't know. I just thought he was pretty 7-ish from the beginning.
I'm fine, really. I'm taking care of myself. I got a routine.
Did you lose the teaching job?
Lose? No. Mutual decision, yes. We had some philosophical differences.
He wants fun, he wants easygoing, he wants a nice life, he wants everybody to be happy, not as mellow and non-opinionated as a 9, but he just wants a fun and easygoing life, and he's kind of a vagabond and a gypsy and, all those kinds of things that you would think of as 7. Where it gets a little bit tricky is that he does go very deeply into pain and suffering. And part of that could be a tri-type. He could have 4 in his tri-type, but it could also be the bipolar. And he gets very manic and he gets very low. And I think there's a lot of argument to his escaping from pain. When he was in the mental hospital, I was thinking that's a really, really trapped 7 right there. I mean,
or even just the idea of taking the meds, which dampen your emotional state. He doesn't, he resists that.
It was well, not only dampened his emotional state, but it dampened his sex drive. It was basically like, that's costing me pleasure. That's costing me fun. That's costing me joy. That's costing me things. I'm not willing to pay that price. And I think he has an 8 wing for sure, because it's literally like Daredevil and Consequences Be Damned. And, it's full on 7 with an 8 wing as far as I can see. And his
I'm with you, girl.
What's that?
I said, I'm with you, girl.
Yeah. His utter lack of concern, well, again, we have to put the bipolar in there, but when they're on that trip in the van and, she's trying to find a safe place to take him, the fact that he keeps calling and he keeps jeopardizing the situation, it seems like he doesn't want Helen, like once 7s feel like they've done something wrong, they would actually like to fix it because they don't want bad juju between people, and they don't want, and so they want to fix anything they've done wrong. Mm-hmm. And so I think his 8 wing and his bipolar disorder makes him do very crazy things that cause a lot of damage. But I think it's his 7-ness, his pure 7-ness, that really does want to sort of like fix that and make things right with people, but in very erratic, narcissistic ways. It's like he's only thinking about himself when he's trying to fix it. So I don't know. I'm with 7 and 8. 7 with an 8.
I'm with you. 7, 8 wing. So I think some people might check out some episodes and with some knowledge of the Enneagram and think, well, he sure seems like a 4 to me. That's the only other type I even consider. But remembering, he's struggling with bipolar. So, and this is something that kind of sticks in my craw sometimes in certain Enneagram conversations. The idea that, an unhealthy 4 shows up as bipolar. I think an unhealthy 4 can be confused with somebody suffering from bipolar. I think it's my experience and understanding that a person of any type can have bipolar disorder. But there are some similarities there, right? So if a 4 who's very, very unhealthy or in a distressed state is going to experience like sort of extremes of emotion, right? That's what you see with bipolar as well. So I had to look to, so I'm thinking, okay, yeah, and then I see the 7 stuff, especially when he first arrives to the family. And even, in his interactions with Wendy and his interactions with Jonah, he seems like the fun uncle, all that sort of 7 energy. And like you said, sort of the vagabond. He jokes, I'm just here because I need money, because the joke is that's how it's been in the past. I show up when I need money. I'm not going to stick around very long. So yeah, I had to sort of, take the bipolar and set it aside. When that doesn't appear to be showing up, what do you see? And then I'm left with the 7. Yeah.
Well, I would say too, though, because I don't think I'm bipolar, but I've had some very, very dramatically low 4-ish episodes many
Yeah.
times in my life. And it comes when the mind sees no options. The 7 has got to see that positive future.
Yeah.
And when everything doesn't make sense and it looks like you really are trapped, that is one sorry character.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
7 is trapped when they don't have options, when there's nothing else that can go forward, and the 7 has no choice but to actually feel the collapse. It can look really 4-ish. Like, I don't know any 7s that don't look like 4s when they're really depressed and trapped. But the difference is a 7 always wants to get out. If they had any option at all to get out of it, they would. Like, they don't have
That's a
any
good
desire to
Yeah,
stay
there
there.
can be a superficial misunderstanding about the 7, that 7s are always up and don't particularly feel pain. One of the, I've of course sat on and witnessed many panels of people of the same type, speaking about their experience. One of the teariest panels I've ever seen was a panel of 7s, because the facilitator took them to that place, to basically, may you share with us what causes you pain. And they quickly went there when sort of given that permission. And in real life, I mean, it really shows up when, as you said, I think you said something like when there's no option, like if you're suddenly a loved one is sick, and that's right there. You can't deny it. That's someone you care about is really in danger. Or, some 7s can sort of describe a sort of midlife crisis. That they've come a ways and then realize, I've not been paying attention to my life. I've not been, getting things in order, and suddenly, I wake up, to the uncomfortable parts of life. Yeah.